Alright, we back at it again. Got a special one for y'all today. Like I said in my last video, I dropped two last week. I told y'all this is a horror channel mainly, but I'm going to dip and dab into other topics, other franchises here and there. Not to get off kilter with what my main base is, but I got a lot of things that I be liking to talk about, and I can't finesse them in because y'all probably expecting just horror. Like when I threw the Harry Potter in for horror month in October. I slid it under the guise of the themes I was talking had the horror part in it and my in-depth analysis on Laura Baltimore. Go check both of them current videos out. They up on YouTube now. Like and subscribe. ZZ the King. Let's get it. But today, I got a simple topic for y'all. Top 10 franchises of all time. Not horror. Franchises. This is from any and every genre, including TV. Because I got a few TV franchises on here, and they are TV episodic shows. And I'm going to tell you why and how did they make the list after this smoke break. Alright, excuse me. When you think of, you know what I'm saying, household, family-friendly TV shows, Fresh Prince, Martin, Full House, you know what I'm saying, Friends, those type of shows are episodically weekly episodes, no doubt. But it's not a storyline that you have to keep up with. For instance, if you watch season 2 of Full House, and then you don't watch it none until season 4, it's nothing changed that you missed in them 2 seasons besides, you know what I'm saying, the Olsen twins get older, and the characters get older. You might see the growth in that, but it's not like you missed pivotal exposition throughout the 2 seasons. Whereas in the franchises that I got marked in here, you will miss a lot if you go from season 2 to 4 in these particular franchises, because they're episodic franchises in a TV fashions. It's like a 12-14 hour movie basically. That's why I put them in there, and you will see why when I get to them. So stuff like Martin, Full House, Friends, Girlfriends, Living Single, them shows don't qualify because you don't have to watch every single show to know what's going on in in the seasons. Kicking it off at number 10. By the way, it will be horror in this. Not because it's a horror channel, but like I said in those horror videos I made, horror is my number 1 genre that I like the most, and my kids. So kicking it off at number 10, this was kind of like sentimental value. I ain't finna get into no synopsis. I'm not finna bring up characters and cast and creators. I've done that before, so you should know about them. If you don't, Google them yourself. It's not hard. I didn't do that kind of research again because I did it. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Now, if you watch my videos or heard me through a few videos by now, you know how I feel about this franchise. 9, 8, 7, I don't know. Nothing. 70% of the population think it's trash at best. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of the minorities who love this franchise for all its gore, which it ain't, you know what I'm saying, super gory in every movie. But my point is, I like this franchise. I got all the DVD collections. I researched all the evidence to, you know, make videos about them. I know about this franchise way before I was even a YouTuber. And that's why this coming at number 10. Because I got history with it. Moving on. Now I'm going to break down what I talked about earlier with my little quick little hinter to the TV shows. Because at number 9, we got coming in the legendary show, Wire. This was an HBO back in the day, like early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the characters. Omar, Bodie, Pooh, you know what I'm saying? Stringer Bell, Marlo, Chris, Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the cast. All them grown up, Idris Elba, all them are super famous A-list celebrities. But this is what I was saying about The Wire from Martin or Full House or Friends or Seinfeld. If you watch season 1 of Seinfeld and you don't watch nothing else until season 3, it's not going to be like, damn, oh, he died or who, woo, woo. It ain't gonna be nothing. Because for one, these ain't like young characters who got older. They already grown. So you might see a little growth in them in 2 years, but it ain't nothing in the story that you miss. You can pick right up with Seinfeld or Friends. With The Wire, if you go from season 1 to season 2, it's gonna be a quick what the hell going on, because it go from street hoods of Baltimore to the harbor, the port of Baltimore, where all the, you know what I'm saying, the narcotics and stuff come in. So you can't miss a episode or a season in these kind of franchises. Wire is the best depiction of Baltimore the world has ever seen. Classic, iconic. That's why it's taking its spot. And I wasn't a huge Wire fan back in the day, because back in the day, I wasn't like I am now. A father, set in my ways, hard working, do work, do this, come home, da 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 da, boring life. And my younger, from 16 to mid 20s before I met my wife, I was in the street. Not trying to glorify it, but I was out there, off the porch, as they say, stepping. I wasn't watching TV or franchises. I was out there being that movie. I was doing what they doing in the movies. So I didn't know about The Wire until I got older and settled down. Moving on. Another powerhouse in the franchise TV industry, from the Stars Network, Power. This is 50 Cent show. I think Courtney Kemp is the writer and producer with 50. If you know anything about Power, Tariq, Ghost, Tommy, you know what I'm saying? It got a legendary cast. It got some spinoffs happening with the Tariq and the Tommy story. But another thing about this, I didn't have Stars Network, so I would just get snippets of it, or my cousin is a huge fan of it even more than I am. He would tell me, like, man, this some shit you would love. You like Wire this much or Breaking Bad, you would love this. Get into it, woo, woo, woo. I was actually an Empire fan back in the day. I thought them was rivals. So I used to, I was sticking to my script. Like, when I was watching Walking Dead, I wouldn't watch Z Nation because that was the rival, the ops. And that's how I felt about Power. I'm loyal to Empire, so I can't watch Power. Once I popped that shit on and binged it the first 2 or 3 seasons before I caught up to the actual shows that's being aired, that shit was like, oh my God. I didn't know. I knew 50 was great with the movies, but I didn't know you can get down this good with story writing on a weekly episodic way. Because 50 can write a good 2-hour movie. But I'm like, you can just that's easier than constantly developing plot line, storyline, week in, week out to enhance every character. Like, Power is the shit to me. Moving on. And this is probably right here the end of the Hood Madness, because I had Wire, Power, and now Breaking Bad. That's 3 TV shows that I view as, excuse me, as basically 6-season movies. I'm talking about, if you know anything about Breaking Bad, Walter White, his son with the little paralyzed little syndrome, the Schrader, his Hank Schrader, his DEA brother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? Then he got Jesse Pinkman with the bitch line. Like, I'm talking about iconic. The twin crazy dudes. Tuco, the grandfather in the wheelchair, the head of the Samaka family in the wheelchair with the little dingy bell. And that damn Gus Frame. When you think about Breaking Bad, I'm talking about the villains are super bad. The good guys. Jesse with his on again, off again drug addict habit. The OD where Walter, you know what I'm saying, watched her. I'm talking about, no spoilers for I hate, sometimes I forget because y'all know how I feel about spoilers. Everything you watch on YouTube going to give you the spoiler. So you know by now, this stuff I ain't talking about, I said it. If I'm talking about a movie that came out last Friday, then I should say spoilers, because I might be spoiling it for somebody who didn't go to see it last week. But if I'm talking about something from 2012, I know it's courteous and you should say spoilers, but damn it, I forget sometime. If you ain't seen Breaking Bad, like my main line, I should get a shirt. Fuck off, because this shit ain't new. But spoilers for all of this. Everything on the list. Back to Breaking Bad, though. I'm talking about Walter's descent from normal guy that wasn't good enough to him in his own perspective to just a drug kingpin, evil son of a bitch. I was for it all. But it's not like I'm not that hood guy that just root for the bad guy just to be evil. No, I want good shit to happen in the world. I want everybody to be peaceful and prosperity. I don't want villains and criminals to be running the earth and we glorify them. But damn it, there's something appealing about them. Straight up. Because, man, it take balls to do this kind of shit. And not cooking meth if you got a great skill at chemistry and you know how to make the best glass. But he went beyond just a dealer. He went to the level of, he tore the fucking city up in New Mexico or wherever they was from. Breaking Bad. I spent too much time on him anyway. Number 6. Yeah. Smoke Break. No homo when I'm about to say, but this is the only franchise that made me cry several times. I'm a grown ass fucking man. And this is MCU. And when I say cry several times, it ain't throughout the franchise, because I've been with MCU from the beginning. I remember when Incredible Hulk came out and we didn't know what we was doing with the franchise. I say we like I'm in the franchise, or I'm Iron Man or Captain America making the movies happen. And I say we because history lesson. My favorite comic person of all time before the MCU came into play was Batman. I don't care about all the movies, the Schumacher movies. I'm to the first 2 with Batman and Catwoman in the Dark. I loved Batman more than anybody. Until fucking Iron Man and Captain America came on. Now everybody know. It's like I'm rivals of the DCEU or whatever you call it over there. I like Batman and Superman and Suicide Squad and the Joker and the my favorite movie still is Batman Begins and you know the Joker, Heath Ledger. But MCU took it to another level with me. And when I say cry, let me back that statement up. It wasn't like I was crying throughout the 10, 12 years of the franchise, because none of the movies was emotional. But Endgame? What was it? It was Infinity War, then Endgame. Your Endgame? It was like 12 years of watching all these 20 movies, and they all wasn't, I don't care if they was great or box office or not. I watched from Captain America Civil War to Ant-Man and the Wasp. I watch every one of these movies. Sometimes I paid for them to, you know what I'm saying, Redbox or go to the movie to see them if it was a movie I wanted to see that bad. My favorite franchise is the Captain America. That's my guy. But all those emotional moments in Endgame, all the callbacks, all the farewell moments, I was just choked up the whole movie. That don't happen to me a lot. You know what I'm saying? But that shit, I was crying the whole movie. It was so emotional. MCU, I don't even really keep up with it now. After Infinity War and Endgame, it was like in my mind, the Thanos storyline ended the MCU for me. I might have to get, you know what I'm saying, recharge back into it, but I ain't paid attention to nothing since but this new Spider-Man, because it got the throwback time Sam Raimi cast. Moving on. We back to some gangster shit. And this was the real first franchise that made me immerse really into the Italian mob life. Like, I knew about The Sopranos, I knew about Godfather, Scarface, even though he's supposed to be like Dominican or Puerto Rican or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, the Goodfellas, you know, all those type of casino movies. This was the cake. This the top of the top, the cream of the crop. Godfather, and yeah, you gotta throw in Godfather 3, because it's still everybody there. But I remember when I was about 15, I knew about it, but I wasn't immersed in it. It was Thanksgiving. Mom's cooking, you know what I'm saying? Grams cooking, aunties cooking, the whole family cooking, doing they bid. I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, cleaning the little greens here and there. You know what I'm saying? Taking all the chilling buckets out, house smelling. Mom's doing her thing. But I had to this before it was DVR in the world, young kids. When you wanted to watch something on TV, you had to have a VCR, set it up, press record, put the adapter to the TV to record it off the TV. Not like now, you just say, oh, Walking Dead come on at 8 o'clock, DVR, set the timer. You can be at work and it's going to record. Back in them days, you had to be there. Rewind, fast forward if you don't want the commercials. That's when you want to be fancy. You stop it on a commercial break, press play when it come back off the commercial break. My point is, I was doing this because I wanted to watch the movies. I kept watching half of part 2, half of part 1, some of part 3, because it was all for the holiday weekend when I was about 14, 15. But my mom had me taking chilling buckets out, helping her clean greens for Thanksgiving, so I couldn't just binge the marathon. So I've set a time. I watched the scale on the schedule when it was coming on. So I knew at like 12 part 1 started. So I was just like, did it. Had everything set up for 1, 2, and 3, recorded them. When I watched them damn movies and got into that shit, I swear to God, I was immersed like I was an Italian nigga. Like, God damn, these niggas. I mean, this is how black people want to move. Like the mob. We always immersed in that. Like BMF and all of that. But yeah, Godfather was the shit. Y'all know the cast. You know what I'm saying? I said I ain't getting synopsis and none of that. Y'all know what it is. Godfather. I spent a lot of time on this one too. Moving on. Number 4, I've been bigging up this, and that's why I said I'm changing the channel in certain aspects for this guy right here in particular. Number 4, Harry Potter. I did an in-depth analysis on Lord Voldemort. I just did a video about a month or 2 ago, my love for Harry Potter for October. I did a video last week on James Potter as a father versus Tom Riddle Sr. Check all them videos out. But Harry Potter, I also gave a backstory about my Harry Potter love. It's a new show out there for who y'all don't know on TBS and Cartoon Network called Houses of Hogwarts, where they get fans to basically like a Family Feud kind of game where 2 Hogwarts houses like Slytherin and Hufflepuff battle, or Gryffindor and Slytherin battle to see who know the most Harry Potter facts. Good ass show. Check it out. Sundays at 8 p.m. That's a free promo for them. They need to pay me. They ain't though. But yeah, though, Harry Potter, like I said, fam, this is for every age, unlike a cartoon anime. Cartoon anime is either strictly for kids or Adult Swim, Rick and Morty type, Beavis and Butthead. But Harry Potter ages you as you age. It start off kitty, teenage, grown, 18, 19 to full-fledged 20-year-olds. Throughout the movies, it ages you up. To where it's like, it ain't like when it's young, the old people ain't gonna like it, and when it's so for the grown people, the young people ain't gonna like it. Every stage of the franchise from 1 through 8 is lovable. Harry is my guy, even though I'm a Slytherin. This franchise is what makes this franchise great out of anything on my list is I'm still learning about this franchise. I know everything about every one of these franchises because they either complete or I just know more. Harry is one franchise I don't know everything you can know because I didn't grow up with the books. And from what I hear, the books are far superior, and I can abide that because you could do more in a book than you can do in a movie. But your imagination can take over in a book where the movie can show you that. All that could be a plus and a minus, whichever one. My point is, I got book knowledge with movie expertise. Whereas another Harry Potter fan may have expertise in the books and movies. And I never claim to be the Harry Potter of Harry Potters. But damn it, I know just as much as people. And when these young kids was watching Harry Potter, they was actually 4 and 5. I was still a grown-up, so I can interpret it more than them. They starting to interpret things as an adult now, where I interpreted it as an adult from the jump. That's where I got the edge on some of the Harry Potter heads who grew up with it. No competition, but when I hear a lot of Harry Potter theory and Harry Potter stuff, I be thinking, you ain't telling me nothing I ain't know already? Because I got a big ego when it's something I think I know a lot about. Like, if you try to debate me on sports, if it's hockey or golf, you got me. If you talk about some basketball shit or some football shit, or even boxing, don't talk that shit if you don't know what you're talking about, because I deal in facts, not feelings. Shame, assault, guilt need to be right. That shit ain't gonna fly with me. Moving on. Number 3, you knew it was coming. I gave my synopsis on Walking Dead. This is number 3, Walking Dead. I told y'all how I feel about this franchise, like I did about Power, Breaking Bad, and Wire. This is the same with Walking Dead. You can't watch season 1 and then come back for season 4 like you can for The Simpsons. Nothing changed. Because these shows deal in facts, exposition, and knowing stuff that show by show. You may miss a show or two here and there for a season, but you can't miss a season with these kind of shows compared to, like I said, the Martins, Fresh Princes, and, Friends and stuff. You gotta watch these seasons to get the progression of the characters. Everything about this I done said in backstories and other videos on Walking Dead. My top 10 villains of Walking Dead. Check that out. You know what I'm saying? How I feel about Walking Dead is the same way I feel about everything on this franchise list, and even my normal horror shit I talk about. The same way I feel about Saw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Nightmare on Elm Street and Chucky and Candyman. It's the same for Walking Dead. Now, Power, Wire, Breaking Bad, MCU, them low ranking on my list. I love them. I can't live without them. But damn it, if it came to that in Walking Dead, I can. And that's why it's levels to my list. Moving on. I want to play a game. Number 2, Saw. If you don't watch my channel enough, I'm not even finna get excited with this. I am finna get a smoke break, though. Yeah, but I don't gotta go hard for Saw. Excuse me, choking up. I don't gotta go hard or, oh, John Kramer did this, or I love The Manna or The Apprentices, because I done that in my in-depth analysis on him, and I touched on his apprentices in that. I got a top 10 countdown of his worst to first movies. Go check all them videos out. They uploaded already a month or 2 ago. If you watch any of my videos, 3 or 4, I name drop Jigsaw and Tobin Bell, the real character, just because how much I love them. Like, I ain't got to go deep on this. It's number 2, Saw franchise. But number 1, this is it. I know y'all getting tired of this shit. And this is another no dun dun dun, no drum roll, no dramatic, no smoke break either. It's Nightmare on Elm Street. Every countdown, every protagonist, antagonist is always going to have something to do with Nancy or Freddy Krueger. This is my number 1 franchise of all time. Meaning, if you said all of these on this list, every franchise, which one of these you only get one for the rest of your life, it's gonna be this, even over Saw, over Leatherface, over Power, over Walking Dead, because this is the first franchise I ever fully loved, dove into. It ain't deeper than Power. It ain't deeper than the streets of Baltimore or even Little Italy and Godfather. It ain't got them complexities. This is a different genre. It's just, I don't know. For me, I'm a Freddy Krueger guy. Like that, the movies all great to me. It's 1 or 2 stinkers. Like I always say, if I'm binging, I skip 2 no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But I can still watch it and don't, because it's still scary. It's still underrated for being scary. It's gay, but it's still scary a little bit. My point is, even the bad ones are watchable. Where it's other franchises, bad ones, like Godfather 3, horrible. You know what I'm saying? Power perfect. I ain't finna try to nitpick here and there. I'm just saying, even in Wire season 2, kinda and the docs ain't really that good. It's just like, you can pick something apart for every franchise or every genre. But Nightmare on Elm Street for me is the guy. I'm not finna over dramatically do it, because I done talked about this guy enough. You know what I'm saying? We got some honorable mentions at this point now, because I talked about this before. I'm big with the sci-fi, you know what I'm saying? So I had to throw in an honorable mention for Aliens, Ellen Ripley. I got to throw an honorable mention in for Jaws. I used to love Jaws back in the day, but it was never, I'm scared of Jaws. I can't swim that good, and my fear used to be back in the day of dying of drowning. But once I got older, I realized, take it out as a fear, because you ain't gonna get nowhere near no damn water to even be in that position unless you flying in the damn plane crash. And if the plane crash, you dead anyway. So I eliminate that as a fear because I stay away from water I can't stand up in. But Jaws still terrified me as a kid. Terminator, you can throw that in. It's a lot of one-hit movies that are iconic, but they don't qualify as franchises like a Scarface. If they'd had 2 or 3 of them, it would have been different or whatever you may can say. But those, it ain't too many honorable mentions because my franchises, I got them on there. But one who I was really debating to put on there, that's for me, is Blade and Underworld. I never talked about them, never brought them up in a snippet, but I love both of them franchises. And my chick, she try to be a movie knower because of my IQ, try to out top me, but she even like Underworld, and she ain't really with the sci-fi shit. She deal with Harry Potter because it's always on the TV when I'm around. I can randomly binge it, but Underworld, she actually liked that. But that's it. ZZ the King. Like and subscribe. Top 10 franchises of all time, included movies, franchises, and TV shows. That's it, baby. I'm out. 1.